Hi guys, I'm Johnny, and today we are reacting and reviewing Oh My Girl's Real Love. Now, before we start, I want to remind you guys to either check out the summary of the video below or the channel's About section so you are fully aware of what the purpose of the channel is and of what these videos are. I don't want to fully explain every single time, just know that I plan to give honest and genuine reactions and reviews, free from any fear of criticism, and encouraging you guys to also have a discussion, and so we can have a discussion about music and K-pop in general. I plan to be brutally honest in this video, which my brutal honesty isn't going to be too bad, but it is going to be more true in this situation because, in all honesty, I am not that familiar with Oh My Girl. I know a few members, I know a few songs, and I know they are from WM Entertainment, the same places On and Off and B1A4, both groups big fan of, more so On and Off, but there's a few songs from B1A4 like A Lie that I absolutely love. With that said, I have a lot of friends that are fans of Oh My Girl, and hopefully I don't upset them too much as we listen to the song. So hopefully you all enjoy it, and hopefully you all have something to say or add and open my eyes. With that said, let me just switch on over and let's get to it. Okay, as you can see, I got my headphones on. I like to listen to the music with headphones so I get the full soundscape of things. So let's get right into it. Oh My Girl's Real Love. Okay, we got a plane. This sounds like we're immediately going into maybe a chorus. There's a lot of instrumentation. It's not bad. It's a really familiar melody, which is nice. It's like easy to vibe to. Where are we right now though? Hold on, let me go back to that. So this building right here, at 30 seconds, we have, this place looks like, I think, Tokyo maybe, but this is obviously not Tokyo. I'm just saying this building right here because this is where that, like, they always show those ads of like the things coming out of the screen. I know they have one like this at the COEX, but this is obviously not the COEX either. This is somewhere in America, and maybe this is like New York, and I haven't been to New York, so I'm not even sure. But we got like cars from all sorts of eras. This taxi is definitely from like the 50s or 60s or something. Okay, Real Love something. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now verse. Ooh. Okay, the verse is a lot different. It's like pulled out every semblance of the chorus, and you got this kind of funky bass line that it's following to. At least, oh, there's Aaron. She's pretty. I like her outfit a lot. It's a good color too. Now chorus. Okay. Good, yeah? I will say that I'm a big fan of the verse. The chorus is nice, but it's familiar, which is nice and everything, but it doesn't like pop out and make me think of it. But I really like this sort of funky bass-led verse. No matter what I say. Oh, these are just instruments. Okay. I actually prefer this instrumentation more for the chorus. Man, the color grading on this is so good. It's very aesthetic. And general styling, absolutely a big fan of. No matter what I say about this song, the outfits are on point. This is interesting. Oh, they're continuing. This is a long bridge. Got these weird, like, Zeppelin air balloons. No, those aren't Zeppelins. Those are just air balloons. Modulation? Ooh. Did they change the lyrics too? Like, Korean, I'm not fluent in Korean whatsoever, but that definitely doesn't sound at all the same. Okay, yeah, Pilya is what they said before, so they did change it. No, don't stop it right there. Oh, they should have went like a little bit longer. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so unsatisfying. This is just exactly the same thing that Red Velvet did with Feel My Rhythm. Rhythm of My Love? No, Feel My Rhythm. It's like you start getting into the groove and you start really enjoying the melody, and especially that was like some modulated. I'm not a music professional whatsoever, but I'm going to use the word modulated. Modulated chorus, which I feel brought more energy, and so I was excited. And then I was ready for that second wind of it, and they just ripped it from my grasp and just left me just a cold and lifeless husk and just wallowing in my own just defeat and desire. Anyways, overall, on first listen, I enjoyed it. I would say my energy's a little low about it right now, which is not a bad thing. It's a very like relaxed feel, and my initial flash reaction is that it's just something great to put on, driving around, just chilling, vibing out. We'll see how that changes. I'm gonna give it maybe a day or two, listen to it a lot more. Okay, we're back. Given about a day and maybe 20 or so listens of Real Love by OHMYGIRL, and I kind of have my final thoughts on it. Kind of as in, I would say 95%. That may or may not change within the next couple of coming months. Overall, just solid song, and that's probably its greatest strength and its greatest weakness, is that it's just a solid song. Before we get into why I like or dislike parts of the song, I'm just going to give a little background on the lyrics. From what I gathered, trying to put together my thoughts on this, because it doesn't seem like this was a song that came from necessarily their hearts or anything of their experiences. It felt very, I don't want to say generic, but it felt like a pop love song where it's not so much about the contents of the love song as it is about the sound of the song. But still, I looked into it. First thing I want to notice is I was wrong about the chorus changing on the last chorus. It is just Pilida, which is to borrow, or Piryo. He says it again. It's just when they modulated or went up in another key, I seem to suddenly not understand it at all, because I think it was just the fact that they were singing with more energy, so it sounded like a much different word. Anyway, back to the lyrics. I'm looking at my notes right here. Is the overall idea, I guess, is comparing real love to traveling to this foreign and exotic kind of place. I think in the chorus they talk about like stepping off of a plane after a 7-hour flight, which in English that translates really weird, but maybe in Korean that sounds very natural and like something nice. But they talk about, for instance, buzzing sounds, which are probably foreign insects, but in a almost rhythmic and inviting and hypnotic way. The new fruity scents that they're attracted to, which harkens back to, again, like landing in this tropical paradise. Talk about the pink sky a lot, and for those of you that suddenly didn't know anything about the meaning of pink, especially in music, especially in imagery, it's a lot of like passion and love. I mean, Love and Rose, famous French song that got played over and over again was in Sabrina, is like the Audrey Hepburn movie. Sabrina was played over and over again, and it means like my life in pink, or like viewing the world through rose-tinted glasses and everything. So this imagery is this person's in love, and like the night's perfect to confess this real love. And overall, this love is surreal. This feeling of real love is surreal. Again, none of it really felt like it was coming from them. I couldn't find any of the writing credits, so maybe that'll change in the future. But it felt like, you know, just smart, safe writing from probably people that are excellent at this or skilled in this. But yeah, and I'll go into the positives and the negatives, and some things that aren't positive or negative, or it just is. I'll start with positive first. Actually, we'll switch that around. I'll start with the negatives first, so we can end on like a more positive note. Negatives, want to get this out of the way. Too short, absolutely too short, and abrupt too. So when they hit that last chorus after the modulation, that's when the song finally gets energy, and the energy is what's really starting to get me going, really pull me in. They're singing at a higher register. The vocals are like being a little bit more creative. You got some ad-libs in the back, and it's really nice. And then it just ends. It ends when there should have at least been one more loop of the chorus, I feel, which is a very unsatisfying feeling. It's like things that, you know what I'm talking about, when the body gets impassioned and emblazoned and your mood goes all the way up to the top and you stop. Yeah. Anyways, we'll continue on from that. Another negative, I guess, that isn't the biggest critique, but maybe for a title track, is that it's just very safe. It's very safe. They didn't try to step out of their comfort zone too much. They, as in the production team behind it all, not as in OHMYGIRL, because again, I doubt they had too much say in the exact composition of the song, or what they wanted to do to, I guess, more creative extents. But I would have liked a little bit more variation and more energy in other parts of the song, because again, it felt, I would say it was 3 minutes, maybe a little bit shorter, of a very similar feel. And we had some instrumentation switches, but the vocals felt very similar before we got to actually anything that changed the scheme, that changed the paradigm of what the song was beforehand. So a little safe, and you know, safe can be a good thing, safe can be a bad thing. I think it's going to hurt it in the long run in terms of a title track. I've mentioned this before, the lyrics were pretty simple, and because of that, it didn't seem very authentic. It made me pay less attention to the lyrics as much as I was paying attention to the just overall cadence and the melody of it all. Which, I mean, music can be designed like that. There's no knock against that. Just what I feel, especially about a song about real love, I felt like they could have borrowed from the input from the girls a little bit more. And lastly, I just wish there was more vocal variety, just because, again, they followed a very same scheme throughout until the very end, before they started to venture off from the norm that was set from the very first 3 seconds of the song. Now we're going to go into, before the positives, just one little thing I'd like to mention that's not a negative or a positive, it's just a thing, an attribute for this video or the song, is during the bridge, you kind of get pulled back out into this weird, very fourth dimensional, I guess, extraterrestrial, synth sounding outer space feel, and it feels a little out of place for the rest of the song, especially since it seems so grounded and very, like, at times tropical or this very funky jazz kind of bar situation. And then we get pulled into literally the spaceship. Like, the synths sound like they're just echoing everywhere through the reverb. And again, not bad, not good, just an observation. Positives. First, Mimi on the verse. She was made for that verse, and the verse was just so clean. It was just very subdued, this like this jazzy, funky bass line, just the bass going through it, and Mimi riding on top of that bass, and it's just following the same cadence. Probably the best part of the song, and I don't say that about verses a lot. The other girls were fine on it. They didn't stand out to me as much. It seemed like Mimi's voice was definitely suited for that sort of jazz feel. Yua actually in the second verse came in and she hit some like falsettos and everything, and that stood out, and she fit that part really well because it's very sassy and snappy, which kind of fits the sort of emotion and the, I guess, mood of jazz. What else? Chorus melody. Absolutely love the chorus melody. Even if I said it was a little safe in parts, it doesn't change the fact that it's comfortable, and comfortable is never a bad thing because I was able to easily just settle into it and really vibe to it. But it's very evocative of like the late spring, early summer, like drive through maybe early afternoon or late afternoon, about to be sunset. I feel like you can put this on like in not Hawaii, in like Florida or something, and you just really vibe to it. And by Florida, I mean like a like an 80s kind of retro Florida. Yeah, maybe. If you ever played Grand Theft Auto Vice City, like that kind of Florida. Key change at the end for the last chorus. Love that. Wish we got more of that, but again, I've already talked about that in my negatives. And then finally, I want to give props out to the director or whoever did the color grading and set design of the music video. They look great. The outfits were cool, just very classy, and this sort of mix and fusion of more retro and contemporary looks with just great color design. I'm very big on aesthetics, and I don't mean that as in what a person looks like, but how they're presented rather. And especially the same with like music videos, and just you can show me the side of a building and with a proper color grading, I will absolutely love that shot, even if it's just a plain old side of a building. And this video had it down with the color grading. So with all that said, you push it all together, and it's a safe song, so I'm going to give it a relatively safe rating, and that is going to be a 7.5. Again, maybe it might have changed if there was a little bit more done at the end. Maybe it would have bumped it to an 8, but the more I sit on it, even if I love the certain parts of it, it was just a safe song, and it's hard to give something safe outstanding reviews. At the same time, it's hard to ever get it in a negative review, and like I said before, my scale is 1 through 10. 5 is absolute average. Anything above 5 I view favorably. 7.5 is good, solid score. So that is all for Real Love by OHMYGIRL. Again, if you disagree with me, or you agree with me, or you want to have further discussion, comment down below. If there are things that I missed, or credits that I missed, please comment down below. Maybe provide sources and citations, because I'm interested in researching more, because I have a hard time finding any sort of writing credits if it's not published in their actual album, and I unfortunately did not buy OHMYGIRL's Real Love to be able to give a very, very professional, not professional, I don't get paid for this, a very, very concise and well-researched review. This is, again, an average review from an average guy. Alright, with that said, we are finished here. Come back more because I think next I will be doing Glitch by NCT Dream. See you guys.